Hi, everybody. Welcome to Mark's Backyard Birds. Today we're talking about ID challenges for especially new bird people and even experienced bird people. When you first get started and you realize that, wow, the females are harder to identify than the males are because the males are showier. But then you see juvenile birds, and juvenile birds are very confusing in most of the time. So what we're going to do, I'm going to try to give you some basics today to help you sort out the juvenile birds and then help better identify them. So first off, what do we look for that can help, overarching rules of thumb? And especially if the birds are sexually dimorphic, meaning the male looks very different from the female, in this case, the female cardinal on the screen. The young birds, juvenile birds that are fledging the nest, those younger, they just hatched this year and they're fledging the nest, they typically look, the first appearances, they look like the females because the females are more cryptically colored. So they're safer sitting on the nest, while the males tend to be more brightly colored for mate attraction and things like that. So the young birds tend to look more like the females, and that's a pretty good overarching rule when you're talking about juvenile birds. Now, in this case, this young cardinal, it looks like this is probably going to be a male. He's already molting a lot of red into his feathers, but notice that black bill, not the orange bill. So there'll be field marks like that that can really help you identify them. Remember, when I talk about color is not at all the best thing to use when trying to identify a bird because of this type of rule. The color constantly changes, especially in young birds. They're molting all during their youth there, and so the color will change differently. So look for the physical features that won't change, and that is like that bill shape. That is a cardinal bill. There's no doubt about it. Well, it could be one of the other grosbeaks, but with the crest, the combination of the crest, and yes, the crest is not as thick as it is when he gets to be in adulthood. But the body shape, the structure, the physical features, this is a young cardinal, and that black bill helps you confirm that. And other species as well that will be very different. One like this is the eastern bluebird, or bluebirds in general. See, the young bluebird, yes, it has blue in the tail, and that really helps with it. But look at all the spots on that bird. Again, that is just like the females needing to be more camouflage colors. We young really need to, because they don't have the survival skills. They they need to be better camouflaged than that bright blue male on the right there, so that they can actually blend into the environment better and help protect them while they're learning the life skills that they need. So this is a juvenile eastern bluebird, and of course an adult male on the right. So that, the spots, again, look at the shape of the bird. And of course, he's hanging out with an adult. And that's another really good clue of juvenile birds. They quite often are very near an adult, and they also will beg, as we say. But the spots on that bird make I transition quickly to the American robin. And this is a young fledgling American robin. You can see the spots on its chest there. Instead of that nice rich orange or even the muted orange of a female. Again, it's a better camouflage pattern for them. And I love this with the bluebird picture because you can see how those two birds are in the same family. Robins and bluebirds are both thrushes, and they're fairly closely related. And so you can see that more in the juvenile birds than when they get to be their full adult plumage. The colors are very different and all that. Well, when they're young, you can see where the relationship is stronger in the plumage. So, and then one of the things, of course, that can help you clue in on juvenile birds is just the sheer number of them. Whenever you look out there, and I get this a lot, people say, "Well, I have a lot of house finches right now, and they're all females." No, they're not all females, but they're fledglings and the females, because again, they look like the fledglings look like the females. Better camouflage color. But this picture is really good because you can see how some of the red is coming in on a couple of those guys there, and those are males. They will be males, but in this early plumage. And one of the things about juvenile plumage is quite often they're darker than in their adult plumage. Again, a better camouflage color and shade. Now, this birds are going to splash around in the water. That's going to make their plumage a little darker anyways with the water on them. But if you've got a whole bunch of house finches or a whole bunch of house sparrows, especially in the spring and summer, you can bet a bunch of those are juvenile birds. And look for the disheveled look, I call it. The really young ones will have little down feathers poking through the feathers here and there. They look really ragged, and of course that will pass fairly quickly as they're molting into their full adult plumage, or even their sub-adult plumage, as we call it, after they pass through that first several months of life. But one thing to look for whenever you're changing there is their tail. That's tail feathers grow slower than the rest of the bird. So because the tail is the rudder, and it's not as critical as the flight feathers to survival. And so quite often you can look like this Baltimore Oriole, who of course is begging at the adult there. Good way to identify it. It's not nearly brightly colored. It got a lot of white on it. It has a real disheveled look, but its tail is shorter. The tail is still growing. And that's really a key mark in a lot of things. Like Carolina wrens, I didn't have a picture, but a little Carolina wren, it has a pretty long tail that sticks up. Well, the young ones have really short tails, and that's a good way to help you identify that as a juvenile bird. But again, the bill is the same, the shape is the same, and when your Carolina wrens are nesting near you, that you're probably going to see juveniles like that. So back to the numbers. House sparrows, another one that the juvenile birds look like the female house sparrows. And as they get just a little bit older, the juveniles will start getting some black in the throat, and you can see them already transitioning. But just know, if you've got 25 house sparrows out there in spring and in mid and summer, you can bet that the real kind of the more ragged looking ones, they're going to be the juvenile birds, and they're going to look like the females. And so I have a lot of them at my feeder right now. And then look for unusual plumage situations, like this hairy woodpecker is a male with the little red spot on the back of his head. He's feeding a fledgling or juvenile hairy woodpecker. And note that the juvenile has red on the top of his head there. They won't have that red on the top of the head for very long. It will mold out. And of course, if it's a male, it'll have the red dot on the back of the head. And if it doesn't have the red dot, it'll be a female. But early in life, things like this red hairy woodpecker and even downy woodpeckers can have some reddish on the top of their head. And of course, the begging and the adult feeding the young one, of course, is it seals the deal. That's a juvenile hairy woodpecker. So great capture there. And then that's an example of having a little extra color you don't expect, whereas this juvenile red-bellied woodpecker has no red on the head at all. So we know the males have the red all the way across the crown, and the females have the red on the back of the neck. Well, this one has none. You can tell he's just really disheveled looking, and he's all gray in the head, but he has that back pattern, that ladder back look to them. And it's the same size as the adults. That's a really good point. People think automatically that baby birds are smaller than the adults. Absolutely not. They usually are not smaller than the adults. So where's that picture of the Oriole? This Oriole is the same size as that adult Oriole, and this is true in most birds. When they leave the nest, except possibly the length of the tail, they're the same body size and wing size and everything as the young one. Now, mourning doves that get pushed out of the nest and they may be a little smaller, or are smaller, and for the most part at first, but they grow very quickly. But for most birds, the day they leave the nest, they're the same size as the adults. So you can't look at it and say, "Oh, look how tiny that house sparrow is," because when they left the nest, he's the same size as mom and dad. So, and then some really confusing head patterns. You see this bird, and you see the pattern, which is the dark and the light wing patches and light belly. You think, well, that just looks just like a red-headed woodpecker, but the head isn't red. Well, the first year of its life, most of the first year, it doesn't have the red head. It starts to molt, and it'll be molting all through the fall and into the winter. Sometimes they take even into the spring, but they're molting, and they'll get that full red head. The back will be black, where this guy's more of a brown black. Again, better camouflage for a young bird that doesn't know how to survive very well there. So that's a great, again, key in on the physical features. The bill's the same, the body shape's the same, the color pattern is the same. It's just the details of the color made different in the younger birds. Helps them survive. And then like we mentioned before, the begging. This is a great example of two things. The juvenile goldfinch, we will start seeing later in July, early August, mid-August, depending on where you are. Then the young goldfinches are more greenish. Again, a better camouflage color than a bright yellow, the male, and even a little bit better camouflage than the duller yellow females. The more olive color. Great picture on the right there of how greenish they are. I've had people call me and say, "I think I've got pine siskins already at my feeder in late summer," but it's usually the juvenile or fledgling goldfinches that are out there with their adults. Adults will bring them in and teach them where the free food is, and you'll see a lot of this begging, and you'll see them passing seed to them and things like that. So, two good examples of ways to help tell a young juvenile bird. Topic of juvenile birds is absolutely fascinating, and I mean, there are obviously so many different species of juvenile birds that I could do at least an hour long class, if not more, on that. But I tried to give you some of the more common juvenile birds in your backyard. Which ones have you been seeing? What are the ones that confuse you the most? And there, like I said, there's so many, and it takes a little bit of study. Again, get a good field guide, because if you think it is a juvenile goldfinch, turn to American goldfinch, and a good field guide will have pictures of the juveniles as well as the adults, and that will help you seal that. So get it narrowed down by the physical features of the bird, and make sure you've got it put into the right group of birds, or take your best guess at it. That's how you learn. If you make a mistake, that's fine. You're trying to figure this thing out, and I hope this video helped you. So if you would, please send in future ideas for programs. This one was a recommended program just a couple weeks ago. Appreciate that. Give us a like, give us a share. If you're on YouTube and hadn't subscribed yet, do subscribe, and please hit that bell up there so you get notifications when I'm on next. And until next time, let's talk birds.